Hey there, I'm the MadCatster. Am I glad to see you here? Well, we have big news. There's been a big development in the SSSniperwolf lawsuit that Sausage had filed against her. The court has ruled on her motion to dismiss. I've got the deets and all the receipts, so buckle up and let's go. So I am here today with Antoinette, who's making one of her rare appearances. Sybil is sleeping. She says, please like and subscribe. Yesterday, we went over 30,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, you guys. I am so grateful to all of you. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Now let's talk about this SSSniperwolf Sausage lawsuit, because we have a very big development that's going to have a huge impact on this case. If you recall, a while back I had broken the story that SSSniperwolf and Sausage were actually married, and I know it had been speculated about before, but we knew for a fact that they were because I found their divorce filing, and it looks like they'd been married for about 10 years. And also, at the same time as the divorce was going on, Evan Young, aka Sausage, filed a lawsuit in Superior Court against Alia Shelesh, aka Sniperwolf, alleging breach of contract, breach of fiduciary duty, and some other things concerning the company, Channel Red, that they had set up as sort of the parent company, I guess you could call it, for their SSSniperwolf brand and their SSSniperwolf channel. And he alleged that she had, gone behind his back and had done business outside of the company and was making brand deals and basically not properly going through the company with this SSSniperwolf revenue. And so he was getting deprived of his 50% share of the profits. After he filed the lawsuit, as most defendants do, SSSniperwolf's attorneys filed a motion to dismiss. And right away, I could tell that something was a little unusual because they filed this motion to dismiss with some really bizarre language at the beginning that I had to question whether an attorney actually wrote it. And for those of you who have asked, yes, a real attorney wrote this. She didn't write it. And yes, some of you said, oh, these are documents maybe just for the public. No, these documents I took right from the court system. So these are the documents that were filed. So this is what they started their motion to dismiss. They said a bat and ball cost $1.10 in total. The bat cost $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? Well, I'm not going to get into all of a whole bunch of other nonsense in a footnote. I'm not going to go back through it, but if you want to see, you can go back and look at my videos that I did on the other parts of the case. And they titled the motion to dismiss gaslighting. And basically, what they're trying to tell the court is, oh, don't be fooled by Sausage trying to convince the court that he's got, merit to his claims. And as I said, I won't go through this all again, but basically what their argument is that this should be dismissed and it belongs in the family court where the divorce is being litigated. And they're trying to say that, oh, all of this company business is really talking about marital assets, and so the family court should decide it. And I disagreed with that. I disagree with that because the company's completely separate. They're business partners in the company. Just because they're business partners in a corporation formed outside of the marriage doesn't mean that that's a marital asset. These are completely different issues. The divorce and the assets they had together, like joint checking accounts and property, that belongs in the family court. These claims about breach of contract dealing just with the company where they're business partners has nothing to do with their marital partnership. So after she filed her motion to dismiss, she bizarrely immediately filed her answer and counterclaim. Now, I say bizarrely because usually you wait for the court to decide on the motion to dismiss, because if the court grants it, you don't need to file an answer. But she went ahead and immediately filed her answer and counterclaim right about the same time. And she counterclaimed him basically for a lot of the same claims against him, and also asking for some of the same relief that he was asking for. And so he responded to her motion to dismiss and filed his opposition saying, hey, judge, this doesn't belong in the family court. It belongs here. By the way, she's filed a counterclaim, which is basically a countersuit that's a lawsuit within a lawsuit, as I've explained before. She's making some of the same claims, and she's asking for some of the same relief. So why should her claims be heard by the court, but not mine? It doesn't belong in the family court. And so that was his filing. So after the opposition was filed by Evan Young, Sausage's team, then SSSniperwolf's team filed what's called a reply. So basically they're rebutting the opposition to the motion to dismiss. And so you'll see here, reply in support of motion to dismiss. And again, we went on with the nonsense, and I called her attorneys the Riddlers because it's just this ridiculousness. And they start this one off with, New York City is a large city in the United States. The moon revolves around the earth. A chicken has 4 legs. It's like, this is court, people. These are serious lawsuits. This isn't the place for this stuff. And so basically what they were saying was him repeating, they say his repeated statements. And of course they keep repeating the same thing about put this in the family court, put this in the family court. And they're saying just because he repeats them doesn't make them true. And the court should not give credit to them, blah, blah, blah. And they had the chicken references going all through this. Antoinette. And they made the argument again and again and again in this pleading. This belongs in the family court. This belongs in the family court. This is about waste of marital assets. It's not about breach of contract. It's not a separate business matter. It's a community property matter, basically, is what they were saying. They were saying that basically if the family court finds that she made money that he should have got part of, well, she can just pay him. And, you know, and I had said in my video that I posted last week that it's not a matter of her just settling the figures. She's breached their agreement, so shouldn't just be excused from that. But anyways, it doesn't belong in the family court. It belongs in the Superior Court where it was. So now the court has finally ruled. And you're probably not going to be surprised, but I had said to you guys that the court's probably not going to like their cutesy pleadings and the way they kept making these stupid chicken references and the other word problem stuff. You know, that doesn't belong in the pleading. You're supposed to argue the facts and the law and ask the court to make a decision. So here's the ruling. So you see here, it says, you know, Evan Young versus Alia Shelesh, and it says order, and it's the judge's name is Judge Blanchard. And it says the court, and this isn't very long, guys, so stay with me, okay? The court has reviewed and considered the following. The defendant's motion to dismiss was filed on October 5th, 2023. The plaintiff's response to defendant's motion to dismiss was filed on October 24th, 2023, and the defendant, Sniperwolf's, reply in support of her motion to dismiss was filed on November 11th, 2023. And it says here, the parties did not request oral argument, and the court does not believe it would be helpful. So the court believes that everything it needs to know is in the pleadings that have been filed, and it doesn't need any further argument to make a decision based on, because it's based on the law. It's not an argument on the merits of the case. It's a motion to dismiss before any evidence has been entered with the court, okay? And they talk about when it's appropriate to dismiss a case. And they said that when reviewing a motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim, allegations in the complaint that are well pled are taken as admitted. In other words, they give the benefit of the doubt, and I said this before, to the plaintiff, Sausage. And they have to assume that his claims have merit unless they blatantly don't, and let the case go forward so that we can then get the evidence to determine whether they actually do have merit or not. And they said that in addition to well-pled facts, the court is entitled to consider all reasonable interpretations of such facts. A motion to dismiss is not a procedure for resolving disputes about the facts or merits of a case. And that's exactly what I was saying when I was talking about her motion to dismiss and her response. It's not about deciding the merits. It's just about deciding whether there's plausible claims that should move forward. And they said instead, the narrow question presented by a motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim is whether facts alleged in a complaint are sufficient to warrant allowing the plaintiff to attempt to prove its case. Dismissal is permitted only when a plaintiff would not be entitled to relief under any interpretation of the facts susceptible of proof. And they emphasize that. So in other words, they're saying it would have to be absolutely impossible for there to be any plausible claim for the court to dismiss it. And again, that's what I had said. And it says, moreover, a motion to dismiss requires a court to accept all material facts alleged by the non-moving party as true. Meaning, all the facts that Sausage has alleged as the plaintiff in his complaint, the court has to take those at this beginning stage as true. In other words, they give it credibility that he's in good faith filed this and made these claims, and that the matter should proceed through the process of getting to trial. And it says, and to view those facts in the light most favorable to the non-moving party. Again, taking them as true and giving the benefit of the doubt to Sausage, the plaintiff. And then they talk about what Sniperwolf's attorneys have alleged. And they said, defendant alleges that the complaint is a vindictive abuse of process designed to harass and punish her as part of the party's pending dissolution proceedings, the divorce case. She contends that the claims raised in the complaint are either better suited for the family court or fail to state a claim. Plaintiffs, an individual and the company jointly owned by the parties, argue that the claims are appropriately filed in this court, mirror the counterclaims brought by the plaintiff in this case, and are properly pled. So again, they're pointing out that, they're saying that the plaintiff, Sausage, pointed out that her counterclaim basically makes some of the same claims against him. And so they're asking the court to decide her claims, but not his, when they're basically the same claims made by either party. And it says the court finds, and here's the ruling, that while the complaint alleges claims that plainly overlap with the family court disputes, they are distinct and relate to contractual obligations and breaches. The direct and derivative claims on behalf of Channel Red are sufficiently pled. At this stage, plaintiff's complaint has stated claims for implied covenant, intentional interference with contract and business expectancies, conversion, and accounting. And in parentheses, to be subject to court-ordered accounting, a defendant must appear to have been entrusted with property of the plaintiff and, in consequence, to have become bound to reveal his dealings with it. And the court says, good cause appearing, it is ordered denying defendant's motion to dismiss. So there you have it, folks. The court agrees with Sausage, and as I suspected they were going to do, they have interpreted his complaint as having enough plausibility by giving him the benefit of the doubt that his claim should go forward to the next stage and should be allowed to be litigated. Now, what you'll probably see next is Sausage's team will probably file a motion to dismiss Alia Shelesh's counterclaims against him, and I'll be interested to see what his attorneys argue. But that's a big loss for Sniperwolf, because now this case will go forward. She'll be forced to litigate it in the Superior Court. She doesn't get to let the family court decide it, which there has to be some reason why she thought that was beneficial to her. So now we get to see what happens and how it plays out and what the facts are and what the court decides. Let me know down below your thoughts about all of this, and let me know how you think this is going to go. I would appreciate that. Please like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that as well. I've got somebody to thank from the Amazon wish list. I'd like to thank Joanne D for sending us some lightweight cat litter, which we really appreciate because we go through so much cat litter in this house, and also for sending us a very nice warm cat bed for the cats to use for the winter. We appreciate that. If you'd like to send something to the cats, the Amazon wish list is in a link down below in the description. Also, thank you so much to all of our Patreon patrons and our channel members. Thank you for your continued support every month. That helps to defray the vet bill, which we pay twice a month, every month. And it's never ending because with 13 cats going to the vet, you can imagine. But I really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for all of your support. Let's keep growing. I've got another video coming. But in the interim, take care of yourselves, love one another, and I'll see you in the next one.
Pretty please. Subscribe, like, and hit the bell. I get a treat for every new sub. Thank you.